Ever get that feeling? Like you're walking into a political minefield, maybe a family dinner or work thing, and the election is all anyone wants to talk about. And you're like, I want to be informed, but I don't have time to become a political scientist.
Yeah.
Well, this is your crash course. Today, we're doing a deep dive on a story about Corey Lewandowski,
Ah, yes.
Trump's former campaign manager.
Right, right.
It's fascinating and unsettling. So back in 2021, Trashelle Odom, who is married to a big GOP donor, accused Lewandowski of sexual harassment.
No.
And now, as they're gearing up for another election, Lewandowski is back in Trump's inner circle. So we have to ask, what happened between Odom and Lewandowski? And why is she speaking out now?
Yeah, why now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So imagine this. It's a fancy charity dinner in Vegas. Everyone's there, dressed to the nines. And Odom claims Lewandowski was out of line, touching her leg, trying to touch her backside, the whole 9 yards. She even says he threw a drink at her.
That's awful. And, this wasn't the first time Lewandowski was accused of something like this. Back in 2017, there was another woman who accused him of slapping her butt at Trump International Hotel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she didn't press charges, but still, makes you wonder.
It's a pattern.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, Odom is a major donor's wife, right? She's in those circles, same as Lewandowski. You can't ignore the power dynamics. I mean, he's tight with Trump, and she's married to someone with a lot of influence.
It's like a political drama, for sure. And then it gets even more interesting, because Lewandowski was actually charged with criminal sexual harassment. But he got a plea deal, impulse control training, a fine, and he had to apologize to Odom.
Wow.
And then there's this. Odom claims Lewandowski offered her over $30,000 to keep quiet. She refused, obviously. And on top of that, both Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr. called Odom to apologize.
Really?
Yep. And Don Jr. told her Lewandowski would be gone. So fast forward to now. Weeks before a major election, Odom decides to speak out.
Interesting.
Right. And she does this big interview with CBS News.
I see. So it makes you wonder about her timing. It's not just about the past, right?
Yeah.
This close to an election, it feels more strategic.
He does.
Like, is she trying to hold Lewandowski accountable? Or maybe it's about other victims, encouraging them to come forward.
It definitely makes you think, especially in our current political climate. And then there's this bigger conversation about power and how women are treated in politics.
Right. And what message does it send when someone accused of this type of behavior is welcomed back so easily?
Yeah.
What does that say about the environment that allows this to happen in the first place?
Makes you think. Before we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's important to point out that this is just one story. This is Odom's truth. It's not up to us to decide guilt or innocence.
Of course.
But it does leave us with a lot to consider, like how much weight should past allegations carry? Especially in politics, where image is everything. What does this whole thing say about our upcoming election? That's something to think about, right? As we head to the polls.